Welcome to Sound Up. I'm Mark Goodman.
And I'm Alan Light.
So because we are getting new listeners each week, we thought that we would kind of lay out what it is that we do here on Sound Up Weekly.
We deliver 2 episodes each week, both featuring the latest music news, big interviews, and everything you need to know about what's going on in the world of music.
On the episode, the first one, like this one each week, we'll also feature our new music picks of the week, which you can hear on our Sound Up soundtrack playlist on Spotify.
And then our Friday episode is dedicated to you. We read your emails, play your voice messages, and welcome you to join our live podcast taping. You can be part of the conversation as part of the Sound Up Pod Squad.
To stay on top of all things Sound Up related and to sign up to join a live taping, be part of our virtual audience, go to our website at sounduppod.com. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, all at SoundUpPod. So, everybody ready? Let's do this.
This is Sound Up with Mark Goodman and Alan Light, the only music podcast that matters.
All righty, I'm Mark Goodman.
And like they just said, I'm Alan Light, and welcome to Sound Up.
On today's show, a musician from not one, but 2 iconic post-punk / goth bands. David J. of Bauhaus and Love and Rockets joins us to discuss his box set, Tracks from the Attic, featuring 37 demos recorded between 1984 and 2004.
More tracks than the new Taylor Swift album, but it is over a few decades. Plus, we have a bunch of music news on the Rolling Stones, Eminem, the aforementioned Taylor Swift, of course, Eric Church, and The Alarm.
And since it is our beginning of the week episode, we have our new music picks, which you can find in our Sound Up soundtrack playlist on Spotify. All right, if everybody's ready, strap in. Let's get to some of the big stories in music news. First up.
Shortly before making an appearance at the NFL draft last week in Detroit, Eminem announced that his 12th studio album, titled The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace, will be releasing this summer. Curious about the French subtitle. A trailer for the album hit the internet showing a true crime reporter discussing the death of Eminem's alter ego Slim Shady. Through his complex and oft-criticized tongue-twisting rhymes, the anti-hero known as Slim Shady has had no shortage of enemies, he says. Then we cut to 50 Cent, Eminem's longtime label mate, saying, "He's not a friend, he's a psychopath." The reporter returns to say the same rude lyrics and controversial antics may have ultimately led to his demise. Join me as we recreate the events that led to the murder of Slim Shady. Eminem makes a brief appearance just to say, "I knew it was only a matter of time for Slim."
Tell me what you make of that.
I don't know. This will be his first album. I didn't realize really it's this long. Music to Be Murdered By was January 2020.
Right.
It is pre-COVID since we got an Eminem album. That, of course, had the crazy Godzilla super high-speed, mega hyper linguistic single on it. Was the most notable, most memorable moment there. So, I don't know, man. I mean, if he's killing off Slim Shady as a character.
Right? What does that mean?
I don't know. It was how he introduced himself to the world, of course. I mean, My Name Is was the first single, the breakthrough single, low those many years ago for this Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. But I don't know. Maybe he's moved on. We know he's sober. I know he just posted something recently about his latest chip for, wherever he marked his sobriety. So, are we moving on to a next phase, next character, next persona for Marshall Mathers?
Well, the question, too, is, does he reveal on this album who killed Slim Shady?
Right.
Is this going to be like Dallas,
Or does that set up
really all a dream?
That becomes with the next album?
Right. Is he going to schlep this out over several albums until we find out who actually was the murderer? That would be genius.
So we don't have a date. It just says summer 2024. So it puts us within a several months window.
Well, the guy has not lost a step. Everything that he does, it's like he is 3 steps ahead of everybody else. I can't wait to hear what this record sounds like.
I mean, look, he would be the first to say there was certainly a dip during his, years of substance abuse. That he could always do things that nobody else could do, but even he admits those records were not up to it, and then came back with some super powerhouse stuff these last few records. But again, I really didn't think about the fact that it's been this long.
I don't think we ever saw anything like that. That video that he did in that garage where he did that insane, my God.
The freestyle. Yeah, that freestyle. Yeah, he's going to be back just ahead of election too. So see what that brings.
So we also have big news on the touring front. You may have heard a little tour by that Brit band, the Rolling Stones, kicked off. The Hackney Diamonds tour started off at Houston's NRG Stadium this past Sunday night. Age-defying splendor is a phrase that I see being used a lot. And, you know, they're right. As it says here, this led by octogenarians. Ouch. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. The Stones delivered an 18-song, 2-hour set full of stadium-sized sing-alongs, along with a sprinkling of relative deep cuts and new tracks off last year's Hackney Diamonds. They, as it looks, it seems they only did 3 songs from the new record.
Yep.
Which is, I guess, about right when you have a catalog like that, even though it seems like the response to this record has been better than a lot of their records at first blush.
You know, does that mean you want more songs from that than from Exile on Main Street?
Exactly. So, of course, 72,000 people in Houston. They started with Start Me Up, the way that they've been starting for years. Jagger leapt, spun, and sauntered across the stage with a ballerina's grace.
Sure.
As he barked with barrel-chested virility. See, I love all of the adjectives here. Just really make it.
This language is that.
Ron Wood's searing guitar solo slashed through Richard's sturdy riffs. The righteous indignation of yesteryear? Get off my cloud, while Rocks Off bristled with pompous, sleazy decadence. So basically what they're saying, this tour is going to kick ass. I just want to mention one thing that seems to be, I've read a bunch of reviews and they're saying stuff like that. He's graceful. Look at these guys. Yeah, they mentioned that they're octogenarians, but there's no like, this has got to be the last tour. I mean, how much longer? They're not saying that anymore.
Nobody's saying that, you know.
Yeah.
some interesting things on the set list. So, as you said, 3 songs: Angry, Mess It Up, and Sweet Sound of Heaven from the new album. But Sweet Sound of Heaven in the second to last slot. I'm not sure where the encore break was. And that's not clear here, but that was the penultimate song before closing with Satisfaction. Some interesting early, they played, as you just mentioned, Get Off My Cloud and Out of Time. Bit of a rare, unexpected song there. They're still doing the fan vote thing for one of the song slots, and Beast of Burden was what got voted in this go round. And in the Keith slot, he sang Not Happy, not one of the ballads, but Little TNA.
How about
as his feature song. So not exactly the set list that I would have anticipated. I mean, still Jumpin' Jack Flash and Miss You and Honky Tonk and Gimme Shelter and plenty that, you know, you do expect. But
right.
And then we'll see how much they mix it up.
I mean, Out of Time is a deep cut, I guess, right? Is that
it's an old cut, that's for sure. I mean, it was a hit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I mean, they have deep cuts. I don't know that Out of Time strikes me as a deep cut, but it looks like just an incredible set. And you know, they also, I've seen in 2 articles that I've read, everybody is shouting out the rhythm section. Steve Jordan just really, really not emulating Charlie, but spiritually being what the band needs with Charlie's absence.
Very eager to see when they come through here end of the month. So we'll see.
Bedazzling.
We'll see what happens. Bedazzling. Meantime, we have certainly not moved on from Taylor Swift news as the stats keep rolling in. Tortured Poets Department debuted to sales of 2.6 million units, the highest of any album since Adele's 2015 release, 25, which, to be fair, certainly was in the streaming era, but before, I think, the
combined
takeover of, streaming as the near exclusive way that people listen to music. Right. Taylor wrote on Instagram, "My mind is blown. I'm completely floored by the love you've shown this album." The Tortured Poets, of course, debuted at number 1, her 14th number 1 album, tying her with Jay-Z for the most number 1 albums among solo artists in history.
Jeez.
So let's look at these numbers. 2.61 million equivalent album units, vinyl sales representing 859,000 of that number.
That's nuts.
859,000 pieces of vinyl in the first week.
And 1.9 million total album sales?
Well, because of the double, right? Because they count twice, because of even the vinyl that's only half of what the album turned out to be is still a double album.
Right. So was she gaming the system with that?
Well, if she was really gaming the system, she would have done the box set with all 4 of them.
Oh, that's true.
Previously this year, the biggest selling for album sales was, of course, Cowboy Carter, with a very impressive 228,000, but that is a fraction of what these Taylor numbers were.
I mean, 859,000 records, vinyl, right? Am I reading that correctly?
That's correct, yes.
So she almost went platinum in her first week, which that doesn't happen anymore.
Just on the vinyl sale.
That's what I'm saying. Just on vinyl. She went gold, well over gold. So, wow.
Tortured Poets became Spotify's most streamed album ever in a single week, passing 1 billion streams in 5 days. Day of release, it was the first album in Spotify history to do more than 300 million streams, which, by the way, it was a record when she did 200 million streams that day. And then they came back and said, no, she did 300 million. So these numbers are just bananas. First show back on the Eras Tour will be in Paris on May the 9th. A very dear friend of mine and the biggest Swiftie I know who lives in France will be there. And I cannot wait for a report to see what the new Eras set list, how much of the Tortured Poets material is going to now come into the set. That's what everybody is waiting to see. And she said, can't wait. May 9th can't come soon enough. I was already so fired up to get back to the tour. So there's, on all fronts, it's the onslaught continues.
It's phenomenal. It's really exciting to see something where a lot of people can get together and like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just to see music be an event. I mean, we had it with the Beyonce record.
Yeah.
The Billie Eilish record is coming. Billie, who put up her tour dates this morning as well. And again, she's doing 3 nights at Madison Square Garden. Again, these are stadium numbers. And yeah, it would be interesting if, there were things that everybody could get behind and agree on these days in the same ways that they can get behind and agree on some of these amazing young women.
Man. Love it. We do have some bad news. We've just gotten word that the Alarm has postponed dates. Unfortunately, their frontman Mike Peters has come out of remission and is once again receiving treatment for cancer. He's been diagnosed with cancer several times over 20 years or so, something like that. And he has been an incredible survivor, has made some incredible feats, done, Everest and things like that.
While this is really unfortunate, Mike is always so positive about his recovery and about his battle with cancer. And he takes it like a battle. He will go to war against it and do everything he can physically, emotionally, spiritually to conquer it. And he's done that year after year, time after time. So I have no doubt that he will do that yet again, but one thing I do know about Mike is he hates to cancel shows. Mike is not the kind of person who likes to postpone or cancel a show unless it is absolutely necessary. He did put a message up on the Alarm's website, which I can read. This is a message from Mike Peters. It says, "Hello, everyone. I have no doubt that the following news will come as a complete shock to you in the same way that it has come as a bolt out of the blue to me and my family. On Sunday morning, April 21st, I woke with a large swollen gland on the left side of my neck. I saw Dr. Harton at the North Wales Cancer Treatment Center at 10 a.m. on Monday, and he immediately arranged for an emergency biopsy and CT scan. The early results have determined that my chronic lymphatic leukemia, CLL, has undergone a transformation into a high-grade lymphoma." Mike goes on to say that cancer has been chasing me for 29 years now, and in all that time, I've managed to outrun the disease and stay alive. My focus and resolve remain the same. I am determined to keep running even harder to stay one step ahead and resume my life as a husband, father, and musician as soon as possible. Thanks for all your understanding, and I will endeavor to keep you updated as soon as I know what the doctors have in store for me and the life steps I will have to take to get back on the front foot. Love, hope, and strength, Mike Peters. They were scheduled to play Cruel World.
Yes.
I mean, they had a whole tour.
Yeah.
So I know this is really, a bummer for Mike, but I also know that, their main concern right now is just making sure he gets healthy and gets the proper treatment.
Getting him back into remission.
Of course.
And exactly.
But I have to say, you know him, I know a lot better than I do, Roger. I met him for the second time when the documentary came out, the Alarm documentary. Right. Which seems like 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And he was in remission at that point and feeling great, but fully was aware of what this meant he is an inspiration to people who are battling cancer because he maintains his positivity and his strength, and he continues to do the kinds of things that are documented in that documentary and tour, write music, put out records. He's amazing.
Absolutely. Both him and his wife Jules have gone through different cancer battles and have been very public about them, which I think has been amazing because I think it has touched so many people and given other people hope and giving them strength in their battles. And Mike has always been very upfront about it. And like I said, he goes to battle against this. It is something that has been a part of his life. He understands that and he takes it very seriously. But he also, wants to do everything he can to get out there and do the thing he loves, which is to write, record, and perform. And I'm sure he'll be out as soon as he is physically able to.
Fingers crossed.
Send in the best.
Yeah.
So, surprise news here of new music, previously unreleased material coming from Johnny Cash. Didn't expect that. What? An album called Songwriter is coming June 28th, built around some demos that Cash recorded in 1993 when he was between record contracts. The album strips down those demos to just his vocals and acoustic guitar, and then built back up tracks with some of the players that he worked with around that time, really. Guitarist Marty Stewart, bassist Dave Rowe, and drummer Pete Abbott, as well as some contributions from special guests, clearly spanning a bunch of years. Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys plays on a track, Vince Gill, but so does Waylon Jennings, who's been gone for a while, so I don't know when that was recorded.
Where they dig that one up,
where they found that. But conceptualized and organized by John Carter Cash, the son of Johnny and June Carter Cash, co-produced with Dave Ferguson, longtime collaborator with Cash. John Carter said, nobody plays Cash better than Marty Stewart, and Dave Rowe, of course, played with Dad for many years. The musicians that came in were just tracking with Dad, recording with Dad. In the case of Marty and Dave, they had many times before, so they knew his energies, his movements. They let him be the guide. It was just playing with Johnny once again. That was the energy of the creation. So 11 songs coming at end of June, and the first taste of that just came out, a song called Well, All Right, just came out over the weekend, came out on Friday. So it's an odd fate, 1993 really is the sort of in the wilderness. It's just before, the American recording stuff,
right,
with the Rick Rubin stuff. He was without a deal. He had kicked around through a couple of labels. Nothing had happened through the 80s, and the resurgence had not yet started. So interesting to get a glimpse into his writing, because of course the American recording stuff, there are some Cash songs on there, but mostly not, and thus the title Songwriter, to keep the focus on that.
More from the Man in Black. Gotta love that. So this past weekend was Stagecoach. And man, there was a lot of stuff going on. I've heard from a bunch of people, including my daughter, who went. And overall, people are loving what has been happening. Obviously, things are a bit different at Stagecoach as they are at Coachella these days. But what everybody is buzzing about is this Eric Church set. And it depends on who you talk to. It would be hard to imagine a more actually polarizing set, as in splitting real fans into roughly even, truly diametrically opposed camps, than the headlining show Eric Church delivered to round out the first night at Stagecoach in California. 70,000 people there.
70,000 people at the start.
Right. And I'm sure you've read this as well. There is a lot of talk online and in this and other stories about people streaming out. And I've seen a couple of pictures, but others have been saying to me, it wasn't quite the mass exodus that you thought.
A dear friend of mine was there and loved this set, which we should describe a little bit. But he said it cleared out. He was sending me pictures and saying, people just bailed on this sort of experiment from Eric.
So rather than rock out, as a lot of people thought, after Jelly Roll's set, Church, after a 20-minute delay, which never happens at those events out there, you got to be on time, he started the show and he adopted a truly churchy aesthetic, seated on a stool in front of a giant stained glass video wall and joined by a 16-member choir fronted by the return of his longtime vocal accompanist, Joanna Cotton. This ethos was felt in covers of vaguely or overtly spiritual songs. He did Hallelujah. He did Edwin Hawkins' Oh Happy Day, This Little Light of Mine. But Church mixed in some distinctly secular and contemporary picks, throwing in snippets of Tupac and Snoop, a la California Love and Gin and Juice, to draw some kind of through line between the sacred and the profane. So the final two numbers of this 75-minute performance, including Springsteen, one of his biggest, Church's band shows up at that point in the set. So in this Variety article, the comment is, it was like a cameo for the band.
The band were like the special guests.
It's like, oh yeah, featuring Church's band did show up at the end. It was too late for many fans who had already been alienated by this acoustic gospel tenor of the majority of the set, but a thrilling and dynamic last-minute change of pace for some of those who consider themselves faithful members of Church's congregation.
Who are known as the church choir, by the way.
Yes.
So he opened with Hallelujah, Let It Be Said, which he has performed before. Mm-hmm. And, it's...
he does these kind of thing every once in a while.
He does. He does them, I think he looks at these in a very different way. And I have heard from people close to Eric and around Eric that he is very happy with how this went, that he's, very satisfied with what this performance was. And he's had these twice at the CMA Fest. He has annoyed the organizers because he has approached it as, this is a special event. Let me do something special. I don't want to just get up, play my 4 hits and move on. So a few years back, he did sort of an acoustic medley of a bunch of his songs that a lot of people loved, but apparently the organizers hated because they couldn't really edit it for the TV broadcast. So they booted him for a few years. They brought him back. And then last year he played, but he had a horn section. He did like a Little Feat cover, and he did this kind of sort of funk set. Didn't really play his hits. And again, split the audience between people who were like, this is really cool. He's treating it like an interesting thing. And people going, why are you not playing your songs? What are we doing?
Some people say, thank you for taking us to church. This was one of my top favorite shows of yours, 18 shows in, and it was bloody amazing. That's what one person said. This entire performance needs to be an album. Incredible is what someone else said. But WTF was that, is what others said. And what a train wreck performance. What were you thinking? Others got into it even further. Terrible. Read the room and redirect. This is a weird one. Say you have to take a break and you'll be right back after you regroup or something. But to go on like that, bleeding my ears out with whatever that was, just truly awful. People spent time and money to watch the biggest choke show I think I've ever seen. Ouch. Not enjoying.
It begs a question, and I was in this with several different, this was coming at me from a lot of different directions over the weekend. So are festivals, this gets back to something that I think we were talking about a few weeks ago, is a festival setting a better or worse place to experiment and try to do something different than your regular set?
Right. It's, if you imagine that a festival, I think, potentially is a place where an artist can gain new fans because everybody's coming to the festival and maybe they're not coming to see you, but they can see you.
But also because of that, does that take some of the pressure of, look, everybody didn't pay their money to just see me as a headliner. So if I feel like there's something else that I want to try and make this more of an event, that's different than doing it at my own show. Others vehemently disagree with this and are sort of saying what you say, which is, look, you're a headliner at a festival. People are there to see you. Plus he knows what he's doing. I mean, again, he's done things like this before and is well aware that this is going to be a thing that's going to annoy as many people as it is going to excite. And he's, clearly at this point, Eric is not concerned with that. And like I said, what I'm told is he's really pleased with all of this. But we talked a few weeks ago about, do you want to hear people just play the hits, or do you want, to hear? And this is, and a festival context even shifts that a little bit, right? Again, because if they don't like it, they can go to another stage. They have been there all day and gotten other stuff. It's not all or nothing on your set if you're ready to take that on as a risk you're signing up for.
Yeah. Can you imagine an artist halfway into a set, even, he can see from the stage that people are picking up their blankets and walking out. But can you imagine an artist, whoa, man, okay, you guys don't like this? Hang on, I'll be right back, and go and get the band? I mean, that would never happen.
That's not, that's just somebody saying that. That's no thing.
I have nothing but love for Eric Church for standing his ground and doing, he's an artist. And artists get to do whatever the hell they want.
And he in particular has, again, approaches things He doesn't try to repeat tour to tour, how he's doing it. He just opened, again, we talked about it the other week. I feel really bad because the reason everybody knows he just opened his new venue in Nashville is because Morgan Wallen is an idiot who threw a chair off the roof. But in the meantime, what Eric was in the process of doing was was playing shows at his venue where he was playing like things he'd never played live before and talking a lot about backstories for songs and really trying to dig into his artistry in that way. So it's not, it's not an unprecedented thing. It's something that he's clearly expressed interest in doing and creating and exploring. And, look, people have, if you don't dig it, it's okay. Yeah. Like that's all right. I can't tell if Roger's rolling his eyes. I can't tell where you're.
I agree with you guys, except for one thing. I think festivals are a great place to experiment and do something different unless you're the headliner. I think the headliner, people expect. I think the promoters and the audience expect something very like specific from a headliner, and at that point, you can't go to another stage. You can't say, well, I'll go check something else out.
Apparently they could, because apparently a lot of them left Eric to go watch Nickelback's set.
Right. Which, by the way, I heard was amazing. Okay. I mean, love to hate Nickelback aside.
And real quick, the other thing we should mention here is the Sunday night headliner at Stagecoast was Post Malone, who, in addition to appearing on the new Taylor Swift album and on the new Beyonce album, put out a Brad Paisley cover on Friday to set up headlining Stagecoach, where he did a set of all country covers. Paisley came out and sang with him. Sarah Evans came out. Dwight Yoakam came out, and they did Little Ways all the way back to Dwight's first album together. And he had shown up at the CMA Awards, right? Or the ACI, I never remember, digging in within the country community as part of his constituency. Post Malone kind of taken over a lot of pieces of the world right now.
Who does what that guy has somehow been able to do? I mean, he came on as a rapper, then was doing pop music almost right away. Now he's doing country, and somehow he's getting away with it. Most artists can't. I don't know why that is.
I don't know. It just seems whatever he does, he seems very authentic about it. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
He seems at least committed to it, right?
Yeah. So. By the way, going back, if I'm Nickelback, I am trying to get booked at the same time Eric Church is playing at
everything.
Because if you're turning fans to Nickelback fans, you take that.
Well, what's going to be interesting, and I don't know if he's had, because there are, of course, all summer, all the big country festivals, around the nation. And I don't know if Eric has any of those slots, but what does he do? Was this a one-off? Like, what are you showing up for his set now, for a festival set now?
Right.
Is it, this is what he's going to be doing? Is it, hey, I don't know what he's going to be doing? Or does he go back into an Eric Church set? Like, he's certainly created a lot of possibility by doing this.
That wraps up the news. And when we come back, David J. is going to join us here on Sound Up. Stand by.
This is Sound Up with Mark Goodman and Alan Light, the only music podcast that matters.
Welcome back to Sound Up. Good to have you with us, and we are excited about our special guest today. This is an artist who we have known for these many years, whether it was Bauhaus or Love and Rockets or some of the amazing stuff that David J. has done solo, some of his soundtrack work. Happy to welcome David J. to Sound Up. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mark.
Good to have you with us. This must be an exciting moment for you. We have a tour pending. This album I shouldn't call it an album. This set that is coming out, first available on Record Store Day last fall, but now it's out officially on Friday and billed as a career-spanning triple album. Now, when we're talking to you about a career-spanning album, 20 years of work, as I said, solo work doing soundtracks, co-writing songs. Where do you start? What are the guardrails for this collection?
Well, yeah, I suppose it is career spanning. If the career is limited to the periods between 1984 and 2004. I have continued since then.
There's some stuff that's happened since then.
It's not the end of the story.
Yeah, and it's only, this is kind of like the underground of the underground, because it's previously unreleased demos, and in fact demos that never became fully realized tracks, not because they weren't good enough, or in some cases that might be the situation, but
we'll be the judge of that.
Okay, yes. I tend to be quite prolific, and I just get on, and the wheels are rolling, and other songs come up, and then I'm doing collaborative projects, and which included in that is being in a few bands. So these songs, they're kind of orphaned, to use Tom Waits' analogy.
So as you said, it's 37 tracks, 37 songs on this Tracks from the Attic set. Demos that are really truly demos, that are just the you alone cassette recordings. Is there any apprehension about revealing that? I mean, do you have that feeling of, as you said, these aren't done, they were never intended for anybody's consumption,
for public consumption?
Do you have to sort of swallow hard and jump off the diving board, or does that feel okay?
I don't really have to swallow hard. I mean, I would have had to have swallowed hard about 20 years ago. But where I'm at now in my head, it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I relish the idea of revealing the process, as it were, And I personally, I've always been into this kind of thing with other artists. I mean, I recently bought a copy of Lou Reed's very early demos that he sent to his home address in New Jersey. It's like the poor man's copyright thing, where you record your songs on a cassette, stick them in an envelope, mail them to yourself. You never open it.
Have the postmark establishing the date.
Exactly. Yeah. But now, of course, it's ready. The time is right for these to be opened, according to his estate, who are very respectful. And they're fascinating to have this little glimpse behind the curtain, as it were,
I was going to ask that are you somebody who goes into the rough drafts, the outtakes, and what is it that you get from your favorite artists when you dig into that stuff?
It's the initial spark of creativity. I mean, another artist whose demo bootlegs I've always enjoyed is Bob Dylan, an incredibly prolific, and he has this series, the bootleg series, an official bootleg series that he's put out, and it's just endlessly fascinating for me, and I'm sure many, many others,
And for me.
Yes. Alan is a crazy Dylan fanatic. So what did, in fact, then wind up on this record? Are there things that maybe should have been released?
That's a good question. And yes, I agree. And also, there's toward that end, I'm going, as soon as I've done this little tour, I'm going to go into the studio with a band, and I'm going to actually record some of these demos, like 3 or 4, and make them fully realized.
Oh.
Inspired by digging them up for this? There things you'd thought about before, or did this set you off to say, yeah?
Yeah, it was that. I mean, I didn't have it in mind to do this. It's just that I revisited them because I was approached by Bruce and Jeff at Independent Project Records, and it made me reappraise them and listen to them, and some of them, the ones I'm going to record, they kind of bubble to the surface, and they're kind of engaging, and they're also a bit intriguing to me because I wrote them so long ago, and I mean, some of the references and the lines, they appear to me as if they're written by somebody else. I don't really know what the references are referring to, but it's sort of like intriguing for me to revisit them. And with that kind of weird mindset.
So are there old Love and Rockets attempts, or even Bauhaus, or is it strictly your solo work?
Or do you even think that way? Do you write and then figure out where it goes, or do you sit down to write for one of the projects?
I never think that, and these songs just come along, and it's really that it becomes very, very apparent very quickly as to where they're intended to go ultimately, and these songs were not for Bauhaus or Love and Rockets. I mean, if I had continued to work with them on them, it would have been for me, and that is what I'm doing in the case of a few of them.
And was this everything that you found that was in decent enough shape? I mean, was this an edit from a bigger trove of stuff, or did this kind of clear the decks of everything that you've got sitting there?
It pretty much cleared the decks, yeah. And how this came about was that I was approached by a friend, Gabor Nemeth, in Budapest, and he volunteered to digitize my cassettes, my cassette demos, because he was aware of their existence. He was a bit concerned that they would be disintegrating. So he volunteered to take on this Herculean task, and I just shipped them all over to him in Hungary, and he made these very nice EQ'd, mastered files. And so I had all these, in my computer. And when I was approached by Jeff and Bruce, and they said they wanted to do something with me, but something more along the lines of unreleased demos, obscure, outtakes, sort of that kind of thing. And I said, well, as it happens, yes, I have all this. And I sent it to them, and they really liked it. And I thought it was just going to be like a cherry pick one album, but they wanted to put out 3 albums, so I wasn't going to say no.
It is coming out. It is a 3-album set.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to go into the all of the incredible marketing and the boxes and your artwork is included in some of the bigger sets. It's really a hell of a package, especially for any of us who are fans of yours and your bands. Is it at all for you when you do something like this? Is it like what it might be to write a memoir? As you're going through this stuff, like you said, there's stuff that seemed to be written by someone else. Does it make you go, oh, what? Who was I? What was I thinking? Or
definitely,
that's crap. Get rid of that.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
Yeah, and I have written a memoir about my time with Bauhaus, Who Killed Mr. Moonlight. So I have gone through that actual process, but yeah, it's a bit different. Because when you write in prose, I dipped into some journals. I have kept journals on and off, not all the time. I was very pleased to have those as reference points. And it's not like that with the songs. The songs are much more abstract and, they're not really... yes, any song is reflective of where the songwriter is at the time of writing, of course. But they're more oblique, you would say, these songs. Some of them are very oblique.
So tell us about whatever a choice of a single these days means. The single, perhaps ironically selected from a project with 37 songs on it, is a song called "Oh No, Not Another Songwriter."
Yeah, because I thought that was appropriate because it's a kind of a wry kind of piss take at the whole genre and. Idea of being a songwriter, so sort of self-effacing really and puckish.
Yeah,
that one is actually the only one that was not recorded on a little cassette player. It was actually recorded in the studio, but I don't have a copy of the master tape. The only copy I've got is on a cassette.
So still technically within the rules here. Yeah,
kind of.
Yes.
This may be a weird question, but where do you keep this stuff? Shoeboxes in the closet, under the sweaters, or
literally shoeboxes? And they
really? I was joking.
Well, no, they were in shoeboxes, and at one time they were indeed in an attic in England. Yeah.
Wow. And was it like a whole treasure hunt for you to go up there? You knew that there was something up there, but you didn't know what, I'm guessing.
No, I mean, when I retrieved them to send them to Gabor to get them digitized, they were in my storage unit, or the lockup, as we call them in England. But that's here in America.
So you set out also on Friday, also into the week the tour begins. First of all, any of this material going to find its way onto the stage yet, or not till you go work them out with a band, as you were saying?
The way I've set this up is that I will come on. Well, first of all, in most of these gigs, there's going to be an interview with different interviewers.
People are doing this nowadays. This isn't a thing now.
Right. Artists go and play a little bit, chat a little bit. This is please let us know more about this. This is the tour kicks off with this event in Portland, Oregon. And that's what you're talking about.
The Bodecker Center. And there will be an interview there, and there'll be a Q&A. And then I shall come on just solo. And we're going to set it up like the audience is a fly on the wall, and you're there while I'm writing this song.
It's like reality television or something.
It's very contrived, but it's kind of cute as well. And I'm going to light a little candle, which is what I do always when I'm writing a song. First thing I do is light a candle, and I'll sit down, acoustic guitar, and then I'm going to play 3 of these songs, and I'm going to have the sheets in front of me, because I do actually need the sheets, but also sort of suggest the whole thing of like, I've written this song, and now I'm going to play it for the first time, and I'm going to record it on my little cassette player. And
wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying that you're going to sit in front of an audience and write a new song?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not John Bryan.
Oh,
No, these are songs from the collection.
okay.
But I'm just going to set it's just a little bit of theatre, really. I'm just going to set it up like this is kind of like what happens in the room,
Yeah.
in the kitchen usually, with light a candle, sit down, acoustic guitar, and I play a song. Yeah, it's a bit of theatre. Anyway, so I'll do about 3 of those, and then the band will come on and join me, and then we'll play a truly career-spanning set.
And what is a set? I mean, is that with songs from each of the bands, the projects,
Yes.
it all goes in the set list at this point?
Yeah, sure.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's at this point, I think did I only see West Coast dates? Am I right on that?
I would really love to come out and do some dates on the East Coast. My schedule's a bit tight, though. I've got things coming up, some of which I cannot reveal at the moment.
Oh, come on. I hate when artists do that.
Oh, NDAs.
I've got this amazing thing that I'm working on that I can't tell you anything about. Does it involve Bauhaus or Love and Rockets?
Shut up.
Shut up!
That is the best answer to that question.
That's great. I'm very excited. So the set is out on Friday. Tracks from the Attic, and also that is the first night of this tour. This thing that you're describing. So it kicks off in Portland, Oregon, at the Bodecker.
Which is basically it's like a big art center, but in the middle of it is a skateboard bowl, and we shall be performing in the bowl.
Interesting sound.
Unusual.
It's surprisingly good sound.
Yeah, it could go either way. If it's good, could be great.
But yeah, I won't be doing any ollies or anything like that.
Not yet.
Never.
And then stay tuned for big, exciting announcements to follow.
Oh yeah,
This year?
this year, you know.
Okay. Summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and beyond.
Summer and beyond.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big year for David J.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to it. The set is really, really amazing. And you do feel like you're sort of sitting next to you and that shoebox. Really. It's the intimacy of it is wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, and as we've said, you know, it wasn't intended for public consumption, so it's really me just making notes and putting these songs down as notation. And so I'm trying to find, in some cases, I'm trying to find it, you know, and I don't even have lyrics, and I'm just coming up with lyrics like off the top of my head. So some of the lyrics are pretty wild, pretty surreal, you know. And then there's like, I'll stop it halfway through and then press play again, and you hear the traffic going by, you hear sirens, you hear birdsong, you hear dogs barking in the background. It's all part of it. It's lo-fi ambient.
It is the process.
Yeah, the process. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for that, for giving us that glimpse. Once again, Tracks from the Attic, out this Friday. David J., great to talk to you. Good luck on this tour, and hopefully we're going to hear some more dates, and we'll get more information on all that secret stuff that you won't say shit about.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, David. All right, many thanks to David J. That box set due out this week. There was a ton of new music that came out over the last week or so, and we each have some favorites, all of which you can find, of course, in our Sound Up soundtrack playlist on Spotify. I'll just drop a couple that I picked. Old friend Nullifer Yanya has new music out called Like I Say, in parentheses, I Run Away, another one of those parentheses titles. What a mesmerizing song. This is great. I listened to it like 100 times this weekend. It's really, really good. So that's one of my picks. And the other, and I had trouble picking a track from the new Justice record, which dropped on Friday. And I went, well, there's a couple with Tame Impala, but I went with Hyperdrama. Oh, that's the name of the album, Never Ender, with Tame Impala. They have one other one, and they have some other really great guests on this new Justice record. Love it.
So quick, also the Nil for Yanya song, and shout out to one of our regulars, Tim Kendall, the
Tim Kendall,
obsessive Nil for Yanya fan. But she kind of does that, you know, Pixies, Nirvana, soft, loud, soft thing on this record with some big explosive guitars here. It's a really nice song. I will mention that the St. Vincent album came out. We've played a couple of tracks, so we're not going to go back to that. But the album, All Born Screaming, did come out on Friday. Amos Lee, an old friend, Philadelphia's own, has an album called Transmissions that's coming out. He's been through a lot of loss, in recent years. And so this album is a lot about losing people, but also about appreciating those who are around you. This song that came out on Friday called Hold On Tight, very much about that. And Amos, always a great writer, really, lovely singer in addition to lovely guy. And lastly, meant to mention this the other week, but kind of didn't get there. A singer named Ann Wilson. She is a country singer. Not that one. Country singer, Christian singer, gospel singer, has an album out called Rebel. There's a song called Songs About Whiskey that is right on the side of being sounding like a straight up parody. Like it's a honky tonk song until you figure out that it's a Jesus song. I got to give it to her. She sounds great. Song rocks. She's doing exactly what she wants to do, which is you could totally play this on a jukebox, except instead of singing songs about whiskey, she's singing songs about Jesus. She got me. What can I say? So Ann Wilson, the album called Rebel, and it's something to check out.
Did you pick one, Roger?
Yeah, I have a couple. One is a new song from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross called Compress Repress. Now, this is a song off the Challengers motion picture score. But what they did was, instead of releasing the score to the movie, they've released a set of 9 songs remixed by Boys Noise that plays like a continuous DJ set. And that is what they've put out. But this song sounds very, very old school Nine Inch Nails to me, and I love it. It's really cool.
People I know who've seen this Challengers movie say the score really is really great, have made a point, including people saying they didn't know that it was by them, just were like, the score is really cool, and then at the end figured out that it was from Trent and Atticus. So clearly making an impression within the film. So yeah.
That and Motley Crue has released a brand new song, their first official song with John Five on guitar, and it's their first song with Bob Rock producing since the Dr. Feelgood album. The song's called Dogs of War, and according to the group, it's the first song of more to come. In an article, Vince Neil said the band has recorded a few songs, including a cover of the Beastie Boys' Fight for Your Right to Party, and some others.
My God.
Boy, do we need that.
They've done well with covers before, with Smoking in the Boys' Room and Anarchy in the UK. So they've always kind of been able to do well with a cover. They are now signed to Big Machine Records. So apparently there is more new music to come from the crew, and they're about to go back out on the road. So we'll see if they put it in the set and see what else comes from them.
All right. That's a lot of great music for you to listen to. So I think what you should do is go to sounduppod.com and find out how you can be a part of our live Sound Up, Sound Off podcast taping and become part of the Sound Up Pod squad. Email us, connect@sounduppod.com. And don't forget, all of these picks that you just heard from us, you can hear on our Spotify Sound Up soundtrack playlist. So go and check that out.
We implore you, don't forget to go over and give us a 5-star rating on whichever platform you listen to Sound Up on. For Mark, for Roger, we'll see you next time here on Sound Up.
Sound Up is hosted by Mark Goodman and Alan Light, produced by Roger Coletti, distributed by Revolver Podcasts. Get Sound Up on Pandora Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. To be a part of the show, email us at connect@sounduppod.com. Sound Up theme music is by Smile from Tokyo. We'll see you next time right here on Sound Up with Mark Goodman and Alan Light.